President Biden comes to San Diego, we'll show you how he spent his day as we track him all the way to North County.
Who's behind the app to efficiently help those experiencing homelessness find shelter in an efficient way?
Plus, if you're still using checks to pay your bills, you could be the target of thieves. What our Verify team found.
Nearly 70 mountain lions are dying every year on roadways in California.
And a no-cost food pantry has opened its doors in the South Bay.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
President Biden is still in San Diego right now, landing by helicopter in Del Mar just moments ago. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan in for Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. President Biden took off from San Diego International Airport by chopper around 5:45, so just about 15 minutes ago. He has a reception tonight in Rancho Santa Fe for the Democratic National Committee. CBS 8's Anna Laurel joins us from the polo fields between Del Mar and Rancho Santa Fe. Anna, tell us more about why the president is here in San Diego.
Yeah, you guys, what a full day for the president. Well, all afternoon here in San Diego, and I'm looking at the skies right now because we hear a helicopter coming in. It's an Osprey, so as soon as it gets up a little closer, I'll let you take a look. I'm going to get out of the way because we are here at the polo fields, like you said, right here in Del Mar, right before you go into Rancho Santa Fe. And again, oh, here come the Ospreys. So we see 3 of them. We were told that the president would be landing. Here's what they told us. In the Del Mar landing zone. That's as specific as they got, but thankfully we've got a newsroom full of people who know the area, and meteorologist Sean Stiles this morning said, you know what, I bet they're going to land in the polo fields. And sure enough, we came over here and it was surrounded. We got here around 4:30. It was surrounded by law enforcement. There are fire trucks and an ambulance out on the fields. But again, here are 3 Osprey airplanes, choppers coming into the air right above the polo fields. We'll watch him land. And when we parked here, you guys, they actually searched our cars. They came up quick. Secret Service, California Highway Patrol came up and said, look, if you're going to park here, you have to let us search your cars. Of course we did. They gave us stickers, so now we're free to be here and watch this all happening. It's kind of exciting. The President of the United States landing here at the polo fields in Del Mar. From here, he's going to go to a reception in Rancho Santa Fe. We'll probably see some friendly faces, some familiar faces, because it's going to be with the Democratic National Committee reception. And so he's been here all day meeting with world leaders right here in San Diego. And so here we go. It's coming a little closer. We've seen some people out walking around on the field. Of course, you know that his security did a full sweep. They're not letting anybody out onto that field unless they've already been cleared with them. There's one out-of-town media pool camera, so they're in there getting those close-up shots as the president comes in. And I believe that Mayor Todd Gloria and other city leaders are here with him, probably in one of these aircrafts. And so as they make their way, yeah, this is big. So lots of traffic in this area right off Via del Valle. This is right off of the 5 where that Whole Foods is. These soccer fields full on the weekends of kids playing soccer, but tonight the President of the United States is landing here. And you guys, so much law enforcement in the restaurants, the veterinary clinic across the street, lots of law enforcement vehicles. There have been law enforcement motorcycles driving up and down. They've got this place secure. And here we go. We're watching that 3rd aircraft touch down. Very exciting. And again, the president has been here all day meeting with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister of Australia, talking about this big military partnership. They're going to be building 3 nuclear-powered submarines that Australia is going to buy from the United States. They're going to have those ready in the next 7 to 8 years, in the 2030s, they said. And so that's what the president has been here doing, because those shipyards where those submarines will be built could be right here in San Diego. He talked about all the jobs that will be here. And so that's what they spent the afternoon doing. And now here he is with Mayor Todd Gloria. They've landed here at the polo fields. They're turning the aircraft engines off. Those propellers are getting quiet. And now he'll make his way to this reception in Rancho Santa Fe. And hopefully, I'll ask my photographer, Anne-Marie, can you tell? Can you see close up? So here comes here's this chopper. We're going to give you a close-up look. You guys can probably see better than us because we've got this television camera lens, but this looks like probably the president making his way. Is that what you're seeing, Anne-Marie? This main helicopter now coming in. We've got the 3 Ospreys on the ground. There's a second helicopter coming in after this one. It's made its flight around. There was a first helicopter.
And Anna, as we know, chatting with
They
you.
did a circle through.
Anna, chatting with you real quick, as we know, all of these different aircraft for the president's detail, as we know, is also part of the defense, as you talked about when they did an entire sweep of the area right there to make sure that everything was safe and good to go for the president to land there.
Oh, Jesse, listen, there was a helicopter first came in. This is after we had our cars all swept. They had police dog canine units out here smelling, sniffing through our car, making sure everything was safe and good to go. They put stickers on your car if you're even across the street. And now they've got motorcycles driving through on the roads. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motorcycles now pulling through the parking lots of these polo fields. Looks like this is our California Highway Patrol. And every few cars is another law enforcement vehicle, undercover, unmarked, and marked cars. And yes, they're making sure this place is well secured with the President of the United States now landing here on these polo fields. And it's getting busy. A lot of people have parked and stopped because you can tell something big is happening when you looked. Imagine, it's all these people, all this traffic off the 5, the rush hour traffic, they all look up and see those Ospreys flying through, then 3 other helicopters flying through. This is a big situation here.
Oh yeah, I think history can tell us, despite, no matter what president is in that chopper at whatever year it is in our history as a country, it's always a bit of a shock and awe type of, oh my gosh, the president of the United States is in my city or my town or my area of the state.
A lot of activity happening out at the polo fields. If you're just joining us, you're watching live. President Joe Biden departed from San Diego International Airport about 25 minutes ago, around 5:45. So about 20 minutes ago, and now we've seen 3 Osprey land and a couple Marine One helicopters landing, usually using several different aircraft so that some can provide a decoy for defense of the president. But we are watching live this helicopter land right there on the polo fields. Our Anna Laurel has been stationed there for the past couple of hours after being swept by security. Anna, can you see any activity as far as which helicopter it appears some of the dignitaries and so forth might be surrounding, perhaps on that helicopter with the president?
I was asking, yes, Marcella, that's a good question because it's a ways out there where they have parked, the furthest that they can, of course, from this street. I asked Anne-Marie, my photographer standing here, she right now can't tell. That is far. Would you say that's half a mile away from us? Okay, here comes some police cars. We see 2 California Highway Patrol and an Escalade, so we're guessing that's probably the car he's going to get into. A couple of Escalades now out on the fields. I hope you can get you guys might be able to tell better than I. And then, you know what, I see some suits. Do you see suits out there? Yeah. So there's some more people that probably waiting to meet the president. This is really exciting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SUVs now out on the polo fields. And okay, which one? You see one that has the American flags on it. Okay, just now turning in that curve. So one CHP officer came by and told us we might have to move, but the others have let us stay. Again, we've got these Secret Service stickers that they put on us to let people know that they've searched us, made sure that we've got the all clear. So now more vans are coming in. So a lot of people must be, I mean, obviously a lot of aircraft landed, and then I see a lot of people in suits out there also. So this is going to be a big entourage, a big motorcade that's going to make its way to this reception with the Democratic National Committee here in Rancho Santa Fe. They didn't give out the location of that. and we didn't want to blow his cover for security reasons. But this is right here in the public, so we're just, again, watching all these vans come through. What do you guys see, Marcella and Jesse?
Anna, we see exactly what you're talking about in a bit of a zoomed-in view, as Anne Marie is showing us from that camera lens we have on our camera there. What we saw was several of those Osprey Marine aircraft coming down. Then we saw that chopper landing in front. We did see a group of people in suits, possibly security detail, advisors, whoever is traveling with the president on this trip, get out of one of those aircraft and walk over and out of the landing zone per se. And then now we saw this motorcade show up, presumably going to take the president to this event in Rancho Santa Fe.
The president has had a long day here in San Diego, and I was just thinking that had we not had the time change, this would be all happening in the dark.
Sure.
We might not have been able to see this much, or perhaps they would have changed the president's timeline. But the sun will set tonight at 6:55 p.m., which is giving the president plenty of time for his detail to clear this area and to have him land. And then presumably they will be getting into these the motorcade and heading up to the destination in Rancho Santa Fe, where he will be participating in a reception for the Democratic National Committee.
Yes, as you can imagine, parts of the president's schedule are released to the public. Parts are kept very private for security information and security issues. As you can see, President Biden right there walking out of the field as they've arrived there in that area between Del Mar and Rancho Santa Fe.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at the people. Like I said, imagine all the rush hour traffic's just sitting on the 5 right here at Via de Valle right after the Del Mar Heights road exit. And everybody's watching. I mean, it was like a parade in the sky with all of those choppers and Ospreys coming through. And now the side of the road where we're standing, we got lots of people with their phones, cameras. A guy just ran by. He's jogging for the evening, doesn't realize he's just running past the President of the United States that just landed here in Del Mar. And, you know, when we were trying to decide where do you think he might land, I mean, there are some private helicopter pads around Rancho Santa Fe. But when we said today that, hey, look, just like you said, Marcella, the sun sets later. If nothing else, we'll have a beautiful sunset out here. And I bet that the president, because they could have driven up and dealt with the traffic, I guess, but could you imagine how beautiful it was flying up here from San Diego International into Del Mar and then landing here this time of day? So yeah, we're lucky because we get to see him. This was last night, we probably would not have.
This is very true. Going back to the president's schedule, we know he just landed there. Again, if you're just joining us, Del Mar, in an area between Del Mar and Rancho Santa Fe. He's heading to a Democratic National Committee event in Rancho Santa Fe tonight. Then he'll be leaving the area and coming back down to San Diego proper. No word yet on exactly what his schedule will be tomorrow, but he is scheduled to be in San Diego for the last part of his schedule that has been made public up to this point.
And Anna, I know that we've been watching the helicopters, the Osprey, the Marine One, fly into the polo fields, San Diego polo fields, between Del Mar and Rancho Santa Fe. It looks like there's some movement now here. Perhaps the president
it looks like they're coming this way.
Is coming in on the motorcade, and they will have to take the roads, which presumably have been cleared ahead of time for the president to get to the site of the Rancho Santa Fe reception. But we know that you have done a story as well on what his day comprised of prior to arriving here. If you want to recap perhaps some of what he has already accomplished while in San Diego today.
That's right. If you guys want to watch it, they're leaving and they've closed the road, this Via de Valle now in front of us. So go ahead, let's see what he did today, and then we'll catch him as he drives by.
President Biden got to San Diego this afternoon around 12:30 and went straight to Naval Base Point Loma to first sit down with the prime ministers of Australia and the United Kingdom. The three are here because of their military partnership called AUKUS. Then, with the USS Missouri behind them in the San Diego Bay, the president and the prime ministers announced concrete plans to strengthen their naval forces across the Indo-Pacific region.
One overriding objective: to enhance the stability of the Indo-Pacific amid rapidly shifting global dynamics.
The three countries are working together to develop fleets of nuclear-powered attack submarines. China operates the world's largest navy, and the White House believes it's making moves to control trade and passage in the Indo-Pacific.
We're putting ourselves in the strongest possible position to navigate the challenges of today and tomorrow together.
The plan involves Australia learning from the United States and the UK how to build and use nuclear-powered submarines. Engineers, scientists, sailors, and tradespeople for all three countries working together to have 3 to 5 nuclear-powered submarines ready for Australia by the 2030s. Great Britain's Prime Minister says the partnership is important because of the danger and division in the world.
Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, China's growing assertiveness, the destabilizing behavior of Iran and North Korea.
While this agreement has far-reaching impacts, President Biden had a message for our local economy.
This partnership is going to mean an awful lot for good-paying jobs for all workers in our countries, including a lot of union jobs.
Just outside the base, a small protest drawing attention to the wall the Biden administration is building at Friendship Park. After the public news conference, the prime ministers met one-on-one with President Biden. And late this afternoon, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria connected with our president, and the two headed to North County.
I'm just looking because, okay, I'm looking for you guys. Here goes more of the vehicles, the security detail that have been with the president. And of course, we're just trying to give a look as to where they might be going. They just went up a hill here right up Via de Valle. And I hate it that you missed. We're going to re-rack that video for you, of course. This is so exciting, you guys. There had to be, I don't know, a couple dozen vehicles that drove by at least, yeah. But I waved really big for everybody and showed them our CBS 8 mic flag. So this was exciting. Not every day does the President of the United States land in your town, come and visit you, meet with world leaders like he did today, make big decisions, big announcements, and that's what happened today. And we got to see him land. We're going to put that video, you know, on CBS8.com. It was exciting, and it was exciting to see him drive by right now and everybody out here giving a big wave. So this is perfect, you guys.
All right, Anna reporting live for us throughout the entire day, keeping up on the President Biden's meeting with foreign dignitaries here in San Diego, what they talked about, and of course, as he just landed now in Del Mar, heading to a Democratic National Committee event in Rancho Santa Fe.
That's right, guys.
It happened more than 25 years ago and is still the largest mass suicide on U.S. soil.
39 members of a cult called Heaven's Gate were found dead inside a Rancho Santa Fe mansion. Starting today, you can watch a CBS 8 News special looking back at the event.
CBS 8's Steve Price joins us now in studio with a preview. Steve, a quarter century later, and it is still as mystifying as it was when it happened.
And it's hard to believe it has been more than a quarter century, but yeah, it's Marcella and Jesse. I mean, the year was 1997. The details from this story, they kept getting more and more bizarre. The cult members killing themselves, believing their souls would board a spaceship that was following a comet. But before they took their lives, some of the members actually recorded videos explaining their decision. Here's a clip that was put together several years later by our own Marcella Lee.
I just want to let everyone know how lucky and happy I feel to be here.
In exit interviews videotaped before the mass suicide, members appeared calm and full of peace.
We have no fear. We're proud and looking forward to what's ahead.
The fact is that there is only one kingdom level.
The cult's leader, Marshall Applewhite, known as Doe, also left behind a suicide message to explain their journey.
If I would title this tape, it would be Last Chance to Evacuate Planet Earth Before It is Recycled.
The members executed their plan by drinking a lethal vodka phenobarbital cocktail, then laying down to die, hoping to enter an alien spacecraft.
Mr. Applewhite, I guess, felt that they were aliens and that the spaceship had come to pick them up and that it was trailing the Hale-Bopp comet.
We might see you all again, and then we might not, but we hope that you remember us as we were and not how other people are going to try and tell you that we are. And one last thing we'd like to say is 39 to beam up. Thank you.
So we found Marcella's story while we were digging deep into our CBS 8 archives. And that's not all we discovered on this topic. From our first stories at the scene to videos that were taken in the mansion by detectives that show the participants all dressed the same. It's about 30 minutes of footage that we put together. It's all in one special, and you can watch it for free on our CBS 8 Plus app, which is on Roku and Fire TV. And I know that's all kind of new, so if you have questions about getting the app, just go to our website, cbs8.com. And I'll tell you, I mean, as soon as I started putting this together, it all started coming back to me. The purple shrouds, the Nike tennis shoes. Just, I mean, it was one of those stories that you would hear something that can't be true, and then you'd hear something else. Wait, what? I mean, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and stranger and stranger.
And just that they all recorded themselves and talked about what they thought would happen with such surety.
Yes.
I remember putting that story together when I heard that you were doing the special, and I couldn't remember for which anniversary, if it was the 10th, the 15th, the 20th, but I do remember vividly looking through that footage and just thinking, wow, this guy really did a number on them, and it's a little bit scary that he had so much control over them. And this was way before the days of social media, and so this footage, a lot of people haven't really been able to see it because it hasn't been shared a whole lot.
Yeah, and we also did a lot of updating as well. So what happened to the house afterward? We talked to one of the detectives, one of the deputies, I should say, who was at the scene, kind of talked to him about his life has been affected by all of this. So we do go back to Rancho Santa Fe.